Alex R. Wagner, and you are watching No News is News, where we cover the news every single day. Trump Daddy in the news today, once again, doing some sort of EPA investigation, so we will get to that. But first, let's drop in on our Kelce odds for 2028. Looking mighty fine. J.D. Vance back at number one, 18%. Marco Rubio, 17%. Gavin Newsom, 15%. But number four, for the first time ever, 6.9%, Kamala Harris. Okay, guys, so here we go. Turning the adders on, starting the poll. We are at day 25 of the poll. Who will be president in 2028? Day 25 of poll. And we got J.D. Vance sitting pretty with 19 wins. We have Marco Rubio in second place. No wins, right? Is that correct? Yeah, Marco Rubio second place, no wins. We have Gavin Newsom, and he's got 5 wins. And we've got Kamala Harris. That's a interesting one, but Kamala Harris jumping above AOC today on the boards. There it is. All right, let's get her going. Let's kick her off. Always starting with the one, the only, the daddy himself, Mr. Daddy Trump. Here we go. Pulling him up now. No, not you. There we go. Perfect. All right. Just want to make sure I got my audio on there, right? Put him up now. Yo, it's JD. What's up, Michael? Here we go. Back at it for another day. Another day, another dollar.
سلام به رمرک تویرا خوش آمدید.
Ciao, benvenuti.
President Trump and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin hosted a group of lawmakers and grocery chain executives to announce a rollback of Biden administration-era regulations on refrigerants. The president claimed the rollback would have no environmental impacts and save Americans millions of dollars. He also took questions from reporters on a variety of topics, including a GOP budget reconciliation bill, federal construction projects in Washington, and the conflict with Iran.
Same shit, different day. Facts.
Everyone
Facts,
is
my
looking
guy.
for the kill. They're all looking for the kill. Okay, thank you very much. It's a great honor. We have tremendous people behind me. You'll be hearing about that in a minute. Today is my honor to be discussing the taking of a very historic action to substantially lower costs for consumers, protect hundreds of thousands of jobs, and save Americans well over $2 billion a year by officially terminating the Biden administration's ridiculous regulations imposing costly requirements on refrigerators and air conditioners. It's ridiculous, unnecessary, and costly, and actually makes the machinery worse. I want to thank EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, Senators John Husted. John, thank you. I heard you're doing very well in your race, I hear. That's what the word is. And Ashley, I know you're doing very well also. Ashley Moody, Florida, great. As well as Representatives Stephanie Bice, Zach Nunn, and Craig Goldman. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all. You look good. We're joined by Kroger CEO. That's a big one. Kroger, that's a big, I see those stores all over the place. Greg Foran. Where's Greg? Greg? Very big. You look like Central Casting. Just like you're supposed to look. Fairway Store CEO Reynolds Kramer.
Right here, Mr. President.
Okay. Hello, Reynolds.
Hello there.
Maybe I won't look around every time. Why Not Stop CEO and co-owner Ann Guthier. Ann?
Yeah.
Because it's Ann, I'm going to. Columbiana Foods co-owner Ron Graff Sr.
Right here. Right behind me.
Hello, Ron. Neiman Foods President Richard Neiman.
Right here, sir.
Hi, Richard. Piggy, well, that's a nice, right? Piggly Wiggly franchise owner. And that's a good company,
Piggy!
too. It's not a cute name. Kevin McDaniel. Where's Kevin? How is that name playing? Good?
Piggly Wiggly's doing great.
Piggly Wiggly. I've heard that, actually. That's great. Franchise owner, Kevin. So you met Kevin. And Food Fresh owner, Michael Gay. Food Fresh? Hi, Michael. How are you, Michael? And this is a representative group of very large-scale retailers. Under the Biden administration, the so-called technology transition rule, which was crazy, forced companies to adopt specific high-cost refrigerants, massively driving up the price of transporting and storing refrigerants and various goods. Many grocery stores and restaurants had no choice but to replace their refrigerators entirely. They went out of business, half of them. And these costs rose. Americans faced higher grocery prices and reduced access to critical medical supplies. It was a very catastrophic thing that they did. At the same time, this rule also drove up the cost of living by forcing consumers to purchase higher cost residential air conditioning units. They went up very substantially in cost, and also they were going to be obsolete very quickly. It created national security risks by adding additional hurdles to the already complicated process of manufacturing semiconductors. So it was a mess. Likewise, the so-called emissions rule imposed crippling leak repair requirements on virtually all existing large-scale refrigeration systems, hurting consumers and small businesses, making it almost impossible for many small businesses to even buy inferior equipment. And this is all across the country. The higher cost threatened thousands of jobs and was passed on in the form of higher prices and higher taxes. Today's reforms will deliver.
If you're just tuning in, make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. You send more people into the live stream. Send them into the algorithm for our poll of the day, which today and every day is, who will be president next? And right now, J.D. Vance pulling away with it, 50%. 0% on Kamala, only 10 votes in, 6 minutes into the poll. Day 25, keeping it going.
For significant financial relief, saving American families and businesses more than $2.4 billion. Think of that each year. Thanks to today's reforms, the American people have lower grocery prices, cheaper transportation of goods, lower costs of air conditioning, at no detriment at all to our country. Zero, including environmental detriment. My administration's historic deregulatory agenda has already saved our country an estimated $1.2 trillion. That's been done over a relatively short period of time. 1.2 trillion with a T. We're committed to fixing the and really completely ending Biden's disastrous regulatory policies and delivering financial relief to each and every American, which is what we're doing. This was a tremendous burden, a tremendous cost. These people had to live with it, not only refrigerants, but a lot more. And it was making the equipment unaffordable. And the actual benefit was nothing. It just made it worse. It made life worse, and it made it worse, and it drove up costs tremendously. So now I'd like to ask Administrator Lee Zeldin, who's absolutely fantastic. He's doing an incredible job. We're proud of you, Lee. Really, the job you're doing is incredible. Followed by Greg, Kevin, and Michael. Is that okay? Lee, go ahead, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. As you know, many Americans were expressing a lot of frustration and anger of this rushed, frantic, reckless.
All right, let's see what else when we can come back to him.
You're saving
Evidence it was mentioned this morning.
Or what government is supposed to be. How much do you expect this
A lot of money, and you can have
the average American family?
Any questions, please?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
How much do you expect this will save the average American family every week on groceries? And do you expect this change to help Republicans?
Okay, very, very substantial. They're going to be a big saving. We're breaking it down. In fact, numbers are coming out this afternoon sometime, but the average family will save a lot of money, and you can have stores. You know, nobody actually thought of it until it was mentioned this morning. You will have stores closing down in areas where they're not going to have a store anymore. That's right. And you really are being forced to spend much more money on much more expensive equipment that really doesn't work. This friend of mine is a very savvy guy, and big league stuff, and he put some in because he wanted to see, and he said the stuff doesn't work. It doesn't cool the food properly. That's why they call the thing that we're talking about a refrigerant for a reason. It's a refrigerant. So that's it. Please, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President Trump. Are there any assurances from the grocery chains that they'll pass these savings down to consumers?
Well, let's ask Kroger about that. Come on. That's a very good question. You have the biggest right here.
Yeah. We're actually right in the middle of doing that at the moment. So we're concerned about the cost of living. It makes a big difference when you get your pricing right, and we certainly are interested in ensuring that all our customers right across the country are paying the right price.
If it were the right thing to do, if it would be, bad for the environment, what they had, I'm all for it. I'm all for that stuff. But when you're forced to put in very inferior equipment that's not going to work, it's not.
Just hit 100 on the live stream. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, send people into the algorithm for our poll of the day. Our poll of the day, as it is every day, 10 minutes into the poll, 33 votes in. JD Vance still pulling away with it. Gavin Newsom still tight behind him. Kamala Harris, first day on the poll. She pulled away from AOC. AOC dropped to 5.6%. Kamala Harris has a 6.9% chance of becoming the next president of the United States tonight.
You're going to be wasting a lot of food product because it doesn't cool the food properly. And it's actually
throw the chat out. Let's get a conversation going.
The is more expensive than what they already have. And in many cases, they just put it in. They just put in the other apparatus. And a lot of people have said they've spent money recently to do it, and then this rule came up out of nowhere, and the stuff they just put in, they have to change. I'd be all for changing if it was good, even if it was a little bit good. But this is actually bad.
Yeah, do you not have any environmental concerns though with this?
No, there is no environmental concern, and Lee covered that really well. There's no environmental concern. It's not going to have any impact on the environment.
Mr. President, with many Americans concerned about affordability ahead of the midterms, there is some backlash among Senate Republicans to some of the other priorities, the Ballroom and the anti-weaponization fund. You clearly still have a stronghold in the Republican Party. Your candidates did very well this week during the primaries, but are you losing control?
My candidates did well. Not all candidates did well.
But are you losing control of the Senate, sir? Are you losing control of the Senate Republicans?
I don't know. I really don't know. I can tell you, I only do what's right.
Thanks.
I don't need money for the Ballroom. I'm making a gift of the Ballroom. This is the biggest misreporting that I've ever seen. The Ballroom is being built. It'll cost. It was going to be $200 million. I've doubled the size of it because we need it, and it's being done in conjunction with the military and with the very much in conjunction with the military and Secret Service. We're on time, on budget. It's going beautifully. Have all the money I need. We're making a gift to the United States. They came along and they said, we want to make it the White House overall, more secure. And I understand that. Not for me, because I'll be gone. I'll be gone and you'll have somebody else in for hopefully hundreds of years. But that's what they're doing it for. The Ballroom is paid for. It's a gift. I mean, I want to make it clear because so many people say, I thought you were giving this away. And all of a sudden, the money that they're spending is for security, having to do maybe around the Ballroom and other parts of the House. But this is not for the Ballroom. The Ballroom is
the GOAT.
Being a tremendous amount of what's being done with respect to the Ballroom is for national security, including, as an example, a drone port on top of which was top secret until litigation made it less than top secret. But we have a drone port. We have the glass that's 4 inches thick, bulletproof glass. We have bulletproof walls. We have things. You need a place like this. But this is being made as a gift from me and other people that are great patriots that spend a lot of money. We're building what will be the finest ballroom anywhere in the world. If they want to spend money on securing the White House, I think it would be very, very much a good expenditure. But the ballroom is being built.
Well, what if Congress doesn't sign off on the security money, sir?
Then the White House won't be a very secure place.
But then, regarding
right?
Cuba, there was an aircraft carrier that just arrived there this week, an aircraft carrier. Are you sending that there to intimidate the Cuban government?
No, not at all. The Cuba, look, it's a failed country. Everybody knows it. They don't have electricity. They don't have money. They don't have really anything. They don't have food. And we're going to help them along, and we're going to help them because number one, I want to help them. I don't want to on a humanitarian basis, but we have the Cuban American population, much of it living in Miami and Florida. That's a great group of people, amazing group of people, industrious, they're great Americans. They've wanted this to happen. They want to go back to their country. They want to help their country. I hope they're going to stay here, but they want to go back. They want to invest in their country and, see if they can bring it back. Other presidents have looked at this for 50, 60 years doing something, and it looks like I'll be the one that does it, so we'd be happy to do it. We want to open it up to Cuban Americans where they can go back and help.
The DNC released a report this morning, their report on the last election on why you won and Democrats lost. One thing that it mentions is how they failed to reach Middle America, Southern Americans. Do you think they've learned lessons from that election, and have you seen that report?
Ever wonder why there are no Democrats on Mount Rushmore? Yeah, me neither.
I think the elections are so rigged, and we have to do something about it, and we're going to do something
Point
about
of
it.
the day, Michael.
We cannot continue to have, and frankly, the Senate and the House, they ought to get together and they ought to pass the Save America Act so that you have voter ID, and it's so important you have proof of citizenship, little thing like
Trump's
proof of
_1.
citizenship. And also mail-in voting, which is so
$10 says
so
Democrat
Maryland,
is here, makes us
as
all
you
about
probably
race.
saw, they had 500,000 mail-in votes that were corrupt. They were corrupt. They said the printer made a mistake. Don't believe that. And they got caught with 500,000 mail-in ballots that were corrupt. We've got to stop it. We have a country that has a very corrupt. We have more corrupt elections than third world countries have. And we ought to get smart. Pass the Save America Act. That'll be a long way. You have voter ID, voter identification. The Democrats don't want to pass. Now, I'll tell you what, the Democrat voters do want to pass, 87%. But the Democrat politicians don't want to pass. And the reason is they'd never be elected again. Because with their policy of open borders, transgender for everyone, I call it transgender mutilization of your children for everybody.
Thumbs on my phone.
Men playing in women's sports, all of the stuff that they do, high taxes. They want a tax hike. They voted in favor of high taxes. They voted against a tax cut. They voted in favor of men playing in women's sports. I don't know what these people are thinking. The only way they can win is to cheat, and that's what they want to do. And we ought to pass the Save America Act. Yeah, please.
Yes, Mr. President. I have two
Cheat or make you look bad.
First about the ballroom and the second about Iran. First, I'm curious, what is the stone that you're going to be using? And I ask that for a reason, because I live in Stafford County, and you know a lot about history and stuff like that. So you know the stone that was quarried for the Capitol and the White House is from Stafford County. They still have quarries, so down there.
We're using marbles and granites,
Okay.
mostly marbles and granites.
All right, excellent. And then my second question is, the Vice President mentioned the other day there would be accommodations, they were willing to make accommodations with the Iranian deal.
Maggots love their federal
possible accommodations as
She's a liar, by the way.
When you say combination of what?
Accommodations, he's talking about accommodations as far as making a deal going. Is that,
I don't know, I can't tell you. Right now, we're negotiating, and we'll see. But either we're going to get it one way or the other. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. You know, when people hear it, because oftentimes they won't put up the second part of the sentence having to do with, I'll say, this is more important than anything that we have to talk about. And usually they'll cut it off, the fake news. I said, because this is the nuclearization of a country that some people would say is somewhat crazy.
My
and we
big
cannot
question, when
let
is Omar
Iran
going to
have
be
a nuclear
arrested?
weapon. That's all it is. We can't let
After
it.
the midterms.
You will have a nuclear war in the
After
Middle
the
East,
midterm.
and that war will come here. That war will go to Europe. We cannot let that happen, and it won't happen. It's not going to happen. That's more important than anything else. We can't. I can think of nothing that's more important than the fact that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and we won't. Yeah, Jeff.
No conservatives on Mount Rushmore either, dumbass. Ha ha ha.
To set up a formalization of charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay.
Is that acceptable to you?
Well, we're looking at it. We hear.
So what did you call the people on
They've
Rushmore?
negotiated. They've had a relationship with them before, and we'll see.
Non-conservative
We
Republicans?
have total control of the Strait of Hormuz, as you know, with our blockade. The blockade's been 100% effective. Nobody's been able to get through. It's like a steel wall. It's our Navy. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. We wiped out their Navy. We not wiped out their air. I think they're down to about, I would say we knocked out 85% of their missile capacity. It's very hard for them now to
Democrats are the party of no morals, no values, no solutions.
To build drones. We have great drone
Obama will not be arrested because if she does, they will make it all about race and not about her being a scammer and a liar and a traitor.
Technology, anti-drone technology now.
Lincoln was a Republican when the Republican Party was liberal. Ha 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 ha. Okay, what about the other three? Keep going. So 4 liberal Republicans on the wall. Is that what we're saying?
That frankly we didn't have even 2 months ago. We have unbelievable drone technology, both for making them and also for knocking them down. But look, we're going to either make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon, or we're going to have to do something very drastic. And the people of the country, I believe when it's put to the people of our country, they will all agree that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Yes, Daniel?
Wait, they're still like that?
How do you want things to end up with the Strait of Hormuz, though? Would you like them to
Well, we want it open. We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international. It's an international waterway. They're not charging tolls. Right now, they are losing $500 million a day is what it's projected. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of money, but whether it's 500 or 200 or 300, they're losing a lot of money. There hasn't been a ship that's been able to get through without our approval. And the Navy has done an amazing job. And no ship is going to Iran, as you know. No ship is going to, or out of Iran without our approval.
Can they keep their highly enriched uranium?
No, we get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it. Okay?
Mr. President, I have 2 questions. First on deregulation, the second on the Supreme Court.
It's whether Democrats are all trying to hide their
You've seen the effects of what unnecessary red tape can do to business. Do you believe that given the amount of deregulatory actions taken along this,
it was open before you come for BB.
Right.
That is true.
tax cuts and tariffs, do you believe
That is true as well. America first.
Pro-business, pro-investment country?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question, because we are, for every one new regulation that we add, we're getting rid of 20 to 30 to 40, and now it's actually at even a number. In my first term, for every regulation that was added, we got rid of a minimum of 10. And I understand, Lee, that it's up to 43 or 44 right now. So if we add a regulation, we get rid of 43, 44. We're making it a much more...
The Republican Party was founded on 125 black men and 25 white men. The Republican Party wanted more equal rights for all. Democratic Party and the party of the KKK. Look at what happened in history. Yeah, but the LBJ sat on the toilet and they changed the whole thing, remember?
Pro-business, pro-people. Regulations are very costly for the people. They're bad for everybody. They're bad for jobs, bad for everybody. And we have, as of today, we have more people working in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. To me, it's one of my favorite stats. But we have more people today working in the United States than at any time in the history. And this is with the Iran conflict. That'll end soon, very soon. And when it ends, your gasoline prices will go down lower than they were before.
My way by
I left Iowa a few months ago, and gasoline was at $1.85
Either that or bomb Iran if we're still bombing Iran.
Gallon. And we'll be hitting numbers like that again.
Mr. President, on the Supreme Court.
But we'll be hitting them in a much nicer way, by the way.
Yo, 150 of you in the chat. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, send people into the algorithm for our poll of the day. Our poll of the day, as it is every day, 83 votes in, 22 minutes into the poll. J.D. Vance pulling ahead with 38%. Gavin Newsom got 5 wins. J.D. Vance got 19 wins. This is the first day with Kamala Harris in the poll, which might actually be doing some problems for Mr. Gavin Newsom. it looks like. Kamala Harris pulling away with 21% of that vote.
We will be hitting them, and we will have a country that will not have a nuclear
Gas
weapon.
prices higher, liar Trump.
Yeah, let me just finish with him.
On the Supreme Court, sir,
Yes, when they took the men out of the homes, replacing them with
Yeah,
welfare.
the oral arguments in
Calm
that.
down,
Please
Trump. Not
explain
worth it.
what's
Trump
at
crook.
stake with that decision, sir.
It's a big decision that we're waiting for from the Supreme Court. We had a terrible tariff decision. They cost our country a fortune. They should do it a different way. We're doing it a different way, but we're going to most likely have to pay back $149 billion. All they had to do is put a little sentence in there, half a sentence, saying that any monies paid don't have to be paid back. You know, you're talking about the people in many cases that hate our country. Give them back money. It was a terrible decision. And it's not going to affect because we do the tariffs a different way.
I hope AOC wins so that I can see her trying to debate. Ha 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 ha. I don't think she's going to. Kamala Harris just pulled ahead in the Kelchi polls.
What's bringing in all
I don't
of this
think Kamala
money.
Harris. I don't think AOC got it in her.
Made our country rich, modernly rich. Now we have another one coming up, which is birthright citizenship.
China,
And
Russia, Germany,
we're
and
the
many
only
more
country in the
countries have nukes, so Trump is afraid to stop paying taxes now. I mean, I would, but I think they're going to get me. I think if we stop paying the taxes, they're going to get me.
World that has it. You step into our country and you're all of a sudden a citizen. You come in a certain way.
Yeah,
This
go
was
ahead,
not
Kamala.
meant
The gorilla is
for
Vance. Will
Chinese
be a
billionaires to have their children become citizens of our country. This was meant, or other rich people, poor people. This was meant for the babies of slaves. This was signed right after the Civil War. You look at the dates alone.
Kamala is
immediately after. This was having to do with the babies of slaves. And people have used it. And if this is allowed to stand, it will be a disaster economically for our country. And you'll have 25% of the people coming into our...
Look, it's true. Like, no other country actually does do that birthright citizenship that way. We're the only, like, major country that does that.
Country coming in...
I can't go over and have my girlfriend give birth in China and get double citizenship for my kid. So why the fuck should the China kid get to do that for me? I say only countries that have birthright citizenship should we allow birthright citizenship for. Makes the most sense.
Through birthright citizenship.
If Kamala wins, I don't understand a word salad that comes out of her mouth. Facts.
And we won't have any
she's going to lose
control.
another fucking
This
election.
Decision by
I don't
the
know why they
Supreme
do
Court
that.
is a very big one. They'll probably rule against me because they seem to like doing that. Frankly, I'm not happy
Trump
with
is
some
woman
of the
beater. He beat Hillary. He beat Kamala.
decisions. Look at NIL. Look what they've done. Look what the courts have done to college sports. They're destroying college sports. They're destroying universities. But birthright citizens a big deal. And literally, if that's allowed to stand, and again, this was a civil...
Just hit 200 in the chat. Double tap. Hit that like button. Send people of all different political persuasions into the chat for our poll of the day. 107 votes in, 26 minutes into the poll. J.D. Vance still pulling away with it. And I really do think it's because Gavin Newsom got 29%, but Kamala Harris pulling away with 18% of it. 18% up against Marco Rubio, 16% though. Still puts J.D. Vance far outweighing Newsom as the victor. This might be very well day 20 of victory for
This was
J.D.
right after
Vance.
the Civil War, and it has to do with the babies of slaves. It doesn't have to do with the babies of...
The answer is that the Constitution says so. Ha ha ha, I love going against you. America, what a shithole. God bless America and President Donald Trump, and please pray for the lost left.
Very rich people coming into the country. One of them came in with 57 children. Okay, 57.
WWE probably could have health insurance if we weren't paying for illegals. Vance is the new Mike Pence.
Children. They're using the system, and it's usually people that...
I was a Democrat, and I voted for Trump, and I will vote red again.
hate our country, if you want to know the truth.
J.D. Vance ain't
Birthright
winning
citizenship
shit.
Is done by no other country in the world.
None.
The way we're doing it.
None.
We're
Go
a
to hell,
laughing
Kemp.
stock.
Trump's 80-year-old brain is mush.
Approves that decision, they have done a great disservice to the United States of America, just like they did a great disservice by costing us $149 billion on tariffs by saying do it a different way. Get the same result, do it a different way. We should have won that decision. We had a very strong, very powerful dissent. We had 3 dissents. So it wasn't like a unanimous decision by any means.
I love it. 2 more years of President Donald Trump and then 8 years of J.D. Vance. Life is great. Your monos brain of mush Kemp. Newsom can't manage squat facts. Democrats who vote for Trump are wasting their vote. Mark Kelly is your next president. Yeah, fucking right, my guy. If we aren't paying for everyone and their mama for all of the other countries, then maybe we would be able to afford health care. Amen, Patrick. WWE is paid by Saudi money. Joe Biden, 89-year-old brain is slush.
Dissents. When you read that dissent, people that read that dissent say you really should have won this case. We should have won that case on tariffs. That case cost our country $149 million. It goes to people that hate our country. So now we have another one coming up, birthright citizenship. It would be a disgrace. It would be a disgrace if the Supreme Court of the United States allows that to happen. Remember what I said.
Let me remind you losers, almost 80 million people voted all the swing states. Hello. The popular vote. Hello. 80% approval rating. Hello. The Democratic Party is done. Trump makes his supporters look dumber every day. People want things for free, but nothing is free. We pay everything with our taxes. Able-bodied people should work, not live our tax money. Coming soon, Mount Trump. Close to Crazy Horse and Mount Rushmore. I just hope that it'll definitely go up before Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse, they've been working on that, I think, since 1992. Patrick, it was rigged.
25% of the people coming into our country will come in through birthright citizenship. They'll become citizens through birthright citizenship, and it'll cost us
Israel hates us, yet we give them billions.
I don't even think they're doable. And it's all up to a couple of people.
When you support teaching kids K through 5th grade about transgender and sex use, some
birthright citizenship is a disgrace. The fact that look at the people that are bringing the suit. Study the people that are bringing the suit. These are not people that love our country. I can tell you that.
Mr. President, what is today's executive order on AI bin?
All right, guys, I just want to let you know for the next 5 minutes or so, I didn't have my iPad that I read the chats off of plugged in. So we're gonna charge the iPad over at the island. So for the next 5 minutes, I'm not gonna be able to read your chats. The Israel is the thing is strange. I hate him. Blah 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 blah. But we're gonna keep covering Trump, and I will be back with you reading the chats, having conversation with y'all around 7:25. But we will still be staying live, watching the rest of this conversation.
Because I didn't like certain aspects.
Keep chatting. Have a conversation with each other.
I think it gets in the way of. We're leading China, we're leading everybody, and I don't want to do anything that's going to get in the way of that lead. We have a very substantial on AI. It's causing tremendous good, and it's also bringing in a lot of jobs, tremendous numbers of jobs. Again, we have more people working right now than we've ever had. I really thought that could have been a blocker, and I want to make sure that it's not.
Mr. President,
wait 1 second.
With President Xi last week, did you discuss AI safeguards?
Who? What?
In China last week with President Xi,
yes.
Did you discuss AI?
I did. No, I discussed it. And he acknowledges how well we're doing. We're doing well. He's doing. It's the two of us. The two countries are fighting for it. Other countries are way behind. Way behind. They're fighting for it. They want it. Everybody wants it, but they're way behind. But I didn't want to do it. I postponed that meeting. It was a press conference. It was a signing, actually. Because I didn't like what I was seeing.
Mr. President, a few moments ago, the Commission of Fine Arts approved your redesign for your arch. Do you think you need congressional?
Oh, that's good news. I finally get good news from What was the vote? Do you know what the vote was? What was the vote?
I've just seen the headline here. I don't have the exact vote.
So we're building what's called the Triumphal Arch right opposite the Arlington Memorial Bridge, right by Arlington Cemetery. It's beautiful. It's the Arc de Triomphe would be the one that you would probably know in Paris. It's one of the most beautiful. It's a very similar size, slightly larger. We have to do slightly larger. It doesn't have to be a lot larger. Otherwise you'd all be disappointed in me.
Slightly larger.
It's even far more beautiful. And I think that the Arc de Triomphe is beautiful. It's a couple of 100 years old, but I think it's beautiful. And some arcs go back over 1,000 years. And it's called a triumphal arch. It's usually done for victories in war and things. 59 of them in the world, and some are really beautiful. And we're the only major, Washington, D.C., which should be number one. We're the only important and major city that doesn't have one. We don't have a triumphal arch. So it was meant to be built for many years. The circle going up to the bridge, it was, people pass that circle, they say, why isn't something built here? And so that's very good. We just got approval from Fine Arts. That's fantastic.
Right, but you need Congress to sign off on it.
No, we don't. No, we're doing it. It's the land is owned by the Interior Department. We don't need anything from Congress.
Are you
It's almost like he knows, and we're kind of getting this too, because like Congress just keeps shutting itself down and doing nothing and complaining. Like when they ask him, like, "Oh, you don't need a Congress approval," like Democrats freak out. But independents and Republicans, I would say probably 60-70% of the population at this point is like, good, I'm glad you're not dealing with Congress. Because if you're dealing with Congress, we know the answer is nothing. Nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever gets done in Congress.
Are you attending your son's wedding this weekend, by the way?
He'd like me to go, but it's going to be just a small little private affair, and I'm going to try and make it. I'm in the midst. I said, this is not good timing for me. I have a thing called Iran and other things. That's one I can't win on. If I do attend, I get killed. If I don't attend, I get killed. By the fake news, of course, I'm talking about. No, but he's got a very person who I've known for a long time, and hopefully they're going to have a great marriage.
Mr. President, actually to add to the art, I just actually passed by it on my way here.
Right.
I saw the paint flags, and
right.
There's just geese that are there all the time.
Right.
So it's perfect. How long will that take? And also, I have to say, I have to pass along something for my mother. She drove in with me. She was amazed by all the people she was seeing on the streets here in D.C. She doesn't get in here as much.
D.C. is hot again.
She was noticing how clean and beautiful.
It's clean.
So I'm passing it along.
That's right. Well, that's the way I do it. Clean. You take a look outside. We had broken path. It was so terrible coming into the White House. It was slate. Slate's a roofing material. It's not a walking material. But the slate was all broken and chipped and terrible. And I put down a new granite floor and paid for it myself, by the way. But I put down a nice new granite floor. It looks beautiful. It's actually getting rave reviews. It's beautiful. It's a terrible having people walking up to the White House and they're walking over broken tiles and broken floors. So now we just finished. It's going to be finished when the moldings are put on. But you might take a look at it. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's beautiful. Of other things we're doing while you're at it, we've fixed, we have...
Well, you can complain about him doing all this bullshit now, but cut to 10, 20, 30 years from now, and you're going to be like, remember the era of Trump when they finally fixed D.C. for 4 years only?
31 fountains in Washington. Of the 31, not one worked. Now we have 21 working, and the others are going to be fixed, and people are calling and saying, it's amazing what's happened in the fountains, and they're working top level. And my most exciting is the reflecting pool between the Washington Monument and the...
Skipping Todd's wedding. You'll just see the next one.
Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial. It's 200...
I'm happy he's doing all this. This should have been done a long time ago.
It's a massive structure.
We're the fucking richest country, and we can't make our fucking capital look rich? Like, it's insane.
If you think of it, it's taller than the tallest building in the world. If you sat the building down, the tallest building in the world would not reach the end of it. It's a very big thing. It hasn't worked properly since it was built in 1922. President Obama and Biden spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to fix it. They didn't. Of course, they couldn't do that. They didn't fix it. It was a mess. So mostly they turned it off, collecting garbage. It looked horrible. And we are very close to getting it finished. And when it's finished, it'll be beautiful. It'll be blue water, dark blue. We call it American flag blue because that's the name of the color that we chose. American flag blue. Can't do better than that. It's a rich, dark blue. And it'll be, I think, very reflective, very, very good. Big project. I decided to do a much bigger job. I was going to just get it open, but I said, let's do it right. Let's get it open and let's have it be good because President Obama, President Biden spent hundreds of millions of dollars, much more than 100 million, but hundreds of millions. It never worked. In fact, when they finished it, it was much worse than it was before. It leaked at a higher level.
I saw
They
it.
would have
It
to
did.
fill it up
It
every
did.
single
It's
day
not.
with water. The whole thing was ridiculous. So they ended up.
He keeps repeating this shit about the fucking thing while Iran's going on because he knows, like, this is a huge win for Daddy Trump. This is a huge, huge win for Daddy Trump. Like, the last 20, 30 years of remodeling D.C. have been utter fucking disaster. Just complete disaster.
Turning it off, and it became like a garbage dump. Well, it's pretty close to finished. So they had estimates of $350 million to fix it. I'll be doing it for a tiny fraction of that. A bigger job than I originally thought I'd do it for $2 or $3 million, just do a base. But now we're fixing up the exterior of it. So we'll probably be in there for less than $20 million. And the estimate was going to be using a different method, 350. It was going to take 4 years, 350 million. I'll be doing it in basically a couple of months for less than $20 million. That includes all of the exterior base, which I never included in my original numbers. When I went there last week, I saw the exterior was in very bad shape, as well as the interior, so I said, we're going to fix that too. The stone. It's going to be beautiful. When that's done, you might see it. It's probably 3/4 done. We have rain delays. We get a lot of delays, but that will be something special. The reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln and Washington monuments. I think it's going to be incredible. It's largely done. If you want to go see it, you can see it before we put the water in. The key is to have it done before July 4th. We want to see if we can have it done before July 4th. But we have about 20 or 21 of the water features in Washington open. And I can say we top of the line. They look better than they did the day they were built. Some of them have been closed for 25, 30 years. There's been no water for 25 or 30 years. And they're really beautiful. Some of the fountains are as beautiful as I've ever seen. And you probably see them. And in addition to that, you brought up something.
It's true, though. Again, like, national, like, city. Like, it's the city for the nation. And you're going to shut off water fountains like it's a normal city? There should never be a water fountain shut off in D.C. To be honest, in a metro area, there should never be a water shut off ever. If you shut off the water fountain, you have to demolish the water fountain and replace it with something else. You're essentially littering as the city if you shut off the water fountain.
Washington, D.C. is now a safe city. We had a city that was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the country, and now it's considered a very safe city. Restaurants are opening. Restaurants were closing. You couldn't go to a restaurant. The restaurants were closing all over because of the danger from during the Biden administration. Now you have restaurants opening, it's thriving, and it was very nice that you said that. I like this reporter. No, it's nice. We have a vibrant city again. People are going out. I have a lot of people in the White House. Every time I see somebody, they thank me, and I know immediately what. They thank me for making the city safe. They walk to work now. Before that, they'd take Uber or something, and they felt unsafe even
skim a little off
in Uber. You know, we moved over 5,000 people out of the city, career criminals that came in through the open borders and other reasons, and we moved over 5,000. And an interesting statistic is that 2% of the population.
I love water fountains and ballrooms, don't you? Who doesn't?
Of the crime.
You don't like a water fountain? Who doesn't like a water fountain?
And the reason I like that is that you can handle 2% of the population. Mr. Kroger, I see, do you have stores in Washington? You see a big difference?
We do.
Boy, he said the right thing.
Boy, he said the right thing.
That would have been the end of Kroger.
That's facts. That's facts. Man did the right thing.
Democrats are genuine in their focus on affordability, especially after the delivered 40-year high inflation last time they were in power. And then, or do you think they're using it or focusing on it as a means to try and win midterms and begin the impeachment process?
The second. Look, the Democrats had the highest inflation in the history of our country. 48 years, they say, but the history of our country. They had the highest inflation that we've ever had. when I inherited it, I inherited very high prices. And from day one, they said, affordability. Affordability is a word, because they're good at that. They're good at words, but I'm good at words too. But
they're good at words, but I'm good at words too. Okay.
They hit me with affordability. I'd just gotten there. They hit me with eggs. We had a news.
They hit him with
conference on
eggs.
My third day. And
not literally. They only hit the black guy with eggs in L.A. Literally.
And they said egg prices are through the roof. I said, I just got here. Tell me about eggs. And we got the prices down, way down, actually lower than it was 4 years before. But we've gotten everything. The thing that we have now, the only thing that's really of great concern, two things. Beef is coming down, and the reason is they put restrictions on beef under the Biden administration, and it takes a while to settle that, but prices are down. But the big thing is, of course, energy. We had the energy way down, but I had to do a journey to Iran. I had to say, you know, we just hit the best markets. By the way, the stock market today is at the highest it's ever been, and we've had 59 of them, 59 days out of a very short period of time where the stock market hit all-time highs. So we have an all-time high stock market. We have all-time high job numbers. We have 401ks just hit the highest number.
Shared my 4 years proudly.
They've ever been. So many of you have 401ks. That means you're richer than you've ever been. And
appreciate your service, J1072, and also appreciate you keeping the chat alive while we were not reading out the chats. And I do this usually at least once a day, or whenever I feel like it. But J1072, you have just been modded. I every once in a while give mod access to people in the chat that are keeping the chat alive, keeping the conversation healthy, keeping it going both ways. You'll now be able to put people in timeout, and if you tap on them, you can put them in a 60-second timeout all the way to a full 24-hour timeout. We try not to ban people here. We just put them in timeout if they are really pissing us the fuck off. Other than that, you know, when you see somebody swear or say the word pedophile, it'll hide the chat. We always, you know, just let the chats flow, even if they are bashing us, fighting us, that kind of stuff. Free speech first here. Hate speech last here. Let's go. Keep the fucking terms of service of YouTube, but other than that, let's have a fucking good conversation, right? Cancel culture me?
Well, but they came up with this word, affordability.
Ban me, traitor.
It's them that caused the problem.
No.
And
never.
They used that word, Senator.
Not
they
woke,
used that
just
word
rigged,
right from the
bro.
beginning. I was in one day, and I heard somebody on television say, affordability. And I inherited this mess from them.
It was my honor.
But we've got it in great shape. The country's doing well. We're respected all over the world. This country is respected. We're the hottest country. We were a dead country 2 years ago, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. So I think most of you appreciate that. Some of you don't. Yeah, please.
Harry Pickett, Washington Times. If the Supreme Court doesn't rule
Jason Beatrice,
are there any other avenues
you have also been modded.
to remedy this? And
didn't even see you up there.
You talked with President Xi about Chinese foreign nationals taking advantage of birth tourism.
Republicans are all cowards. Fuck you, Trump.
Well, it's a great question.
Get your jobs. Is this live? No, this is earlier today. Biden pooped his pants again. Chat has Biden derangement syndrome. Should be mandatory service for all. You sound poor. Another broke-ass Democrat. BDS. Once again, you are mixing up with Democrats.
What damage they've done.
Trump is a convicted felon, rapist, pedophile, and traitor to the Constitution. Okay, calm down, bro. Jason Sherbabe.
Again.
Republicans are all traitors.
But they could have said the money taken in, hundreds of billions of dollars.
Love you. Love the respect. Appreciate you.
Kevin understands that better than anybody. All they had to do is say, any money taken in, because they agree you could do it a different way.
Alex, where is the Bubba? I know. We need the Bubba and we need the big bag of pop 420. They will come back eventually.
In many ways, it's a stronger way.
We're back every
They
day,
could have
so
said,
we will
any
get them
money
back,
taken
Michael, at some
in,
point. Michael Holden Strong is the only mod coming back in the second era of the show. But we are now back and no longer fucking around with the regular live versus vertical live. We're just doing the mobile lives. Because the mobile lives are where the chat is at. And where the chat is at is where the conversation's at. And I don't give a shit about the money. Give a shit about the people. Give a shit about you. Talking to me. Trump is a failed president. Maggots are in the cult. They are all traitors. Harris 28. What's this guy say? Biden was a sack of shit. Oh, yeah, pretty much. Maggots are traitors in America. The Constitution, grittier cult.
In many cases, the enemy. People that don't like our country. Or it
Democrats
was a
in
half a
Congress
sentence.
refused to sign a
The
Republican
Supreme
bill
Court
to
could have
end
saved
insider
us
trading.
$149 billion with a half a sentence. But they chose not to do that. Now they have a ruling which is a much bigger ruling, actually, birthright citizenship.
Once again, right for the
cost,
name calling.
Forgetting about the fact that it's wrong, the cost of birthright
Kamala
citizenship
sucks
is
Bobby Brown
barely not affordable by our country. It's going to cost hundreds of billions of dollars. And it's in their hands. What can I tell you? It's a common sense ruling.
A good argument to
it's
prove
common
your point.
sense.
So you're just
it was
going to
about.
call
It was
name calling.
exact timing.
We the people have a fucking.
And it's about the babies of slaves. Thank you for that question. Right, you go again.
I'm begging to get the nagging feeling that Trump fella might just possibly be a tad bit of the shady side. My hunches are rarely wrong, kids.
So do you think if Democrats were to take control of Congress again, they would immediately begin the impeachment
Why did Democrats
process?
I think if Democrats took control of the Congress, I think that, and let's say took control of the country, I think that this country's finished. These people are sick. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, but really they have bad policy. They have horrible policy. They cheat on elections. They get elected by cheating on elections. But you would have 2 states added. They'll terminate the filibuster immediately. Republicans should do that. They'll terminate the filibuster. You'll have Washington, D.C., and you'll have Puerto Rico as a state, which will be a disaster, which would be 4 Senate seats. Tremendous numbers of electoral college votes. You will have.
Let's hope to God that we don't cut to 3 years later, me doing a podcast clip, fucking posting it on my video, of saying like, "Remember when Trump was right?" Like, let's hope. Let's hope.
That's
hope we never get here.
But you'll have the
he is
destruction
right
of the
on
country.
what
they
they're
want to
trying
go
to
to
do.
21 Supreme Court judges. That's their perfect number. They talk about 13. But they want to go to 21 Supreme Court judges. If they get in power, I think this country would be maybe finished. If I didn't win the election, I'll say this. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world. We were a dead country 2 years ago. If I didn't win this election, we would have been a country that was essentially, I don't even know that we would have been a country any longer. They were destroying our country. They were letting hundreds of thousands, millions of people pour through our southern border.
Hearing a lot of accusations, no proof. Facts.
People from jails, people from mental institutions, drug dealers,
So
and
we can't afford anything while we're spending money.
addicts. They were sending everybody.
Isn't it always that way?
Everybody that they didn't want. By the millions, 25
Forget
million
everything
people.
comes from consequences,
If I
no
didn't
matter
win this
how
election,
noble things
I
look.
believe our country
Just
would have been
because
finished.
you don't
Thank
live
you
in
very
a
much.
reality doesn't mean the rest of us don't.
Thank you.
Quickly, Democrats forgot 9/11 until Israel kicked rocks. That's not conservatives. Thank God we won. And your side believes men can become women. How is that not delusional? Who forgot 9/11? You. What the fuck are you talking about? Who forgot 9/11? Are you like, you're trying to like pull some fucking Israel first shit or something? Is that what you're trying to do now? I think you need to just find a different chat, my lady. Because you're not making much sense of anything. Not much sense of anything. Alright. Now, guys, that we got him off of the ticker, it's time for Mr. Chucky Schumer, and he's going to tell us everything that's wrong.
The future of American manufacturing.
The return! Chuck Schumer strikes back. Nah! Chuck Schumer! Watch the amount of energy.
This is live coverage on C-SPAN 2.
He's a heavy energy guy.
To be joined by my colleagues, Senators Durbin, Merkley, Schatz, and Blunt-Rochester. And good afternoon. So this afternoon, Republicans, so divided, so dysfunctional, so disorganized, are fleeing Washington. Their majority can't melt down fast enough, not when Americans' financial situation is melting down every day. Republicans are in complete disarray. They're at each other's throats, and the American people.
Bro, the only person that died on January 6th was Ashley Babbitt because a black retard fucking officer shot her because he doesn't know how to be a cop. Not the same thing as over 2,000 people dead on 9/11. Okay? So maybe you should remember 9/11, you fucking retard. What the fuck? January 6th is 9/11? Like, you're a fucking retard.
People are suffering for it. Republicans are divided over things that Americans don't want.
Pay attention to
But
that.
Democrats are united around things that the people do want. For us to lower their costs, rein in the chaos, fight the corruption that is endemic to this administration. Republicans have tied themselves up in knots and torn each other to shreds over Trump's brazenly corrupt slush fund.
You know what I find funny is that I just saw a clip today of Jon Stewart being like, look at Donald Trump's hand. He's got all these fucking blood blisters all over his hand. Blood blister right on this motherfucker's forehead. Right on his fucking forehead. And they're not going to say a goddamn thing about that.
For his billionaire cronies and January 6th insurrectionists. They have soiled their reputation by fighting to fund Trump's billion-dollar ballroom at taxpayer expense. And all the while, Republicans haven't lifted a finger to lower Americans' costs.
No. 9/11 was treason. January 6th was retardation. January 6th was the epitome of COVID politics put in a yard and sent loose while governments refused to do their job and didn't have orderly training. That's what January 6th was failure of institutional security on all fronts. And a bunch of retards running around in a lawn. Insurrection? That would probably be the planes going into a tower, killing 2,000 people. Just saying.
In a corner by their own president, Republicans have their backs to the wall with no way out, nowhere to hide, no end in sight. The only way for Republicans to get out of this box is to stop backing the slush
He needs to
fund,
be ousted already.
stop pushing the ballroom, and
Stop
as soon
pushing
as
the
we get back,
ballroom.
join.
Why are you worried about what he's fucking doing? It's like mind your business type of shit, right? Because like bro's like, I'm paying for my own ballroom. I just want to pay for my own ballroom. And then this motherfucker's over here being like, he needs to stop worrying about the ballroom, start worrying about whatever we're worried about. It's like, mind your goddamn business.
Democrats in
Mind your
fighting to lower
goddamn business, Chuck Schumer.
for Americans' costs on health
Unique
care,
version
on
of hell.
housing, on power, on child care, and on so
Maggots
much
love
else.
their PDF file in
And to
chief.
join us in
Okay.
fighting
The
the
last guy
corruption
wasn't a pedophile. Sure.
that Trump just revels in.
Your ignorance is frightening.
Republicans
Exactly.
are in retreat.
I hate even listening
But
to
Democrats
this
are
BS.
moving full steam ahead.
Imagine thinking
to
Democrats
fight
have all the
Trump's
answers.
costs,
Imagine
chaos.
thinking they have any answers.
Senator Durbin.
Your treason is frightening. Okay.
Is suffering from.
Blah, blah, blah,
Worthy
blah,
of
blah, blah,
pantry
blah. Mr. Schumer.
Can't afford their
Mr.
problem.
Schumer.
There is you.
Mr.
doing for the
Schumer.
American. We are
Mr.
every not
Schumer.
pain. We should be going.
Bro
It's
can't even talk
opportunity.
at his own press conference. There you go.
Republicans stop backing the slush fund. Is it anybody's understanding that any of your colleagues, any Republicans, are actually backing that thing?
The whole fight that they've had today is about bowing down to Donald Trump and doing what the American people don't want them to do, whether it's the ballroom or the slush fund.
Yo! Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news. Kyle Busch just died. Kyle Busch of NASCAR fame has passed away. Dies at the age of 41. Kyle Busch dies at the age of 41.
Us about this situation.
Christine, first, this is just an unspeakable tragedy throughout the entire racing world, certainly within the NASCAR community.
Severe illness.
Kyle
It wasn't
is
a wreck.
indisputably one of the greatest race drivers of all time, regardless of genre. He will be a first ballot NASCAR Hall of Famer and has been
Oh
for
my
years,
God.
just to give you an idea of how dominant he was in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's a two-time champion with 63 career wins.
Fentanyl?
He's the
Really? You
all-time
think?
wins
Maybe.
leader
Maybe.
in what is now the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts
Severe
Series
illness.
and
Fuck.
the NASCAR Truck Series. And beyond that, Kyle's maturation as a man, the incredible father he was.
But they said
to his
illness,
children,
not
the
drug
incredible
related.
husband he was to Samantha.
That said, he is so young.
Our hearts just
What
are
have you
broken
done to earn
today
your
throughout the
citizenship?
entire NASCAR family.
Shut up.
That Kyle has passed away from this illness
Wow,
at 41
guys.
years old. We don't have information
Illness.
right now
What's
what
the
exactly
illness?
that illness was.
He must have been
and we
suffering
don't have
from
a whole
something.
lot of information
He must have had something and didn't tell us.
this day.
I wonder if it was like a Chadwick Boseman style thing, like where it was that you know, like that he like hid that he had cancer or something.
There was an
But
announcement this morning.
He
on
died
his
of an
social media
illness, not
feeds
like
that he'd been
drug
admitted to
related.
the hospital with this illness, and we got news just moments ago from NASCAR and Richard Childress Racing, the team for
Wow.
which Kyle raced in the Cup Series, that he had passed on. I can read you some of that statement right now. Our entire NASCAR family is heartbroken by the loss of Kyle Busch, a future Hall of Famer. Kyle was a rare talent, one who comes along once in a generation. He was fierce, he was
Whoa.
passionate, he was immensely skilled, and he cared deeply about the sport and its fans. Throughout a career that spanned more than 2 decades, Kyle set records in national series, wins, won championships at NASCAR's highest level, and fostered the next generation of drivers as an owner in the
Damn,
Truck
guys, that's
Series.
crazy.
His sharp wit and competitive spirit sparked a deep emotional connection with race fans of every age, creating
We got
and loyal
Chase
Racing
Elliott. That's the only one left
Our
now.
thoughts are with Samantha,
What the fuck?
Brexton, and Lennox.
Wow.
Kyle and Samantha's parents, Kurt, and all of Kyle's family, Richard and Judy Childress, everyone at Richard Childress Racing, his teammates, friends, and fans. NASCAR lost a giant in the sport today far too soon, and they ask for thoughts, prayers, and privacy at this time. Christine, again, it's genuinely impossible to properly articulate what an incredible talent Kyle Busch was. He came into NASCAR at 16 years old. They had to change rules because he was so good so young.
Wow.
And he ruffled a lot of feathers as a young, aggressive driver, drawing comparisons to the greatest to ever do it, Dale Earnhardt, because he had so much talent within the garage area.
He's like literally
It
the
was
Kobe
certainly-
Bryant
he was
of
certainly in
racing.
the conversation of the most talented wheelmen that ever held a steering wheel. And again, just to see the evolution of the man, to see the way that he grew into such a wonderful
41
advocate
years old.
for all of the race drivers, for growing the next generation of drivers. And on top of that, he and his wife Samantha being such champions for couples struggling to have children through their IVF work.
Wow.
He has been a bastion in that world as well. And so
234 career wins.
Rarely-
Do you understand how rare it is to even get one win in NASCAR, let alone 234 times you are the victor, the number one car? 3 National Series titles.
Are we at a loss?
The
for
Kobe
words?
Bryant
This is
of racing.
a shocking, tragic moment
Holy
in the
fuck.
auto racing world. And I will just say that my prayers, my genuine prayers, are with Samantha and Kyle's children, his parents, Kurt, his
No
brother,
one expected this.
and all of us who loved him.
Wow. Well, rest in peace, Mr. Kyle Busch, one of the greatest fucking NASCAR racers of all time.
In people. And
Back to Chuck
the
Schumer.
bottom line is that too many of them are siding with Trump. They're either afraid of Trump, look what happened this week, or they are blind, so blind that they don't see that it's costs that's making the American people angry and frustrated. And frankly, we're angry and frustrated that Republicans don't join us. We want to help people feed themselves. We want to help people be able to go to work and pay for that tank of gas. We want to help first-time home.
Do you guys really truly believe that that's what he's out here doing? Or is it very fucking Captain Obvious that these people are literally being like, I hope it all burns down so that I can get a vote and I can stay here? It's fucking
Buyers
nuts.
afford a mortgage. And they're busy fighting amongst themselves
Birthright
on
citizenship
something
was
the
for the
American
slaves.
people
Facts.
don't care about.
Hi, Mr. Schumer. Please resign ASAP. Facts.
Look, the FISA needs reform. I think almost all of our caucus feels it needs reform, and we're willing to work with the Republicans to get that reform. I don't think they know.
We are about an hour into the show. Let's see where we're at. We're at 11,000. We're going to go into hour 2, guys. You guys got the hour 2. We get the hour 2. We hit over 10,000, so we're going to go into hour 2. And in hour 2, we are going to go, and we're going to end that poll. But it's not the end of our night because you guys deserve an hour 2 because we had over 10,000 people show up to our first hour. So we're going to have our runoff happen here now. Who will be president in 2028? Day 25 of poll. We have J.D. Vance with 19 wins up against Gavin Newsom, the gruesome Newsomer, and he has 5 wins. Here it is, guys. Your only choices. The runoff is here. Back to Chucky Schumer for hour 2.
Know where they're at. Yes.
Take a piss, guys. I'll be back soon. Massey was a third party at one point. He got 9% when he was third party.
Are you guys now going to talk a lot more about corruption going into the fall?
Look.
Because you've got now this fund.
Here's the link. Corruption often leads to the high prices. Donald Trump sided with the big oil and gas industries and cut off the cheapest way to get power on the grid. Donald Trump, listening to a few big industry people, put in the tariffs that raise the costs. The two are tied together. Our goal is to get the costs lower, but the corruption in this administration pushes them to do the opposite. Yes.
Can you talk for a moment about what some of these amendments would have looked like? When I talked to Republican senators, they all said in this vote-a-rama, had it happened, they said you guys would have had certain votes that would have put them in tough spots based on the compensation fund. Can you describe what...
No, I'm not going to get into the specific amendments, but we made clear that we felt that this corruption was so vile that we were going to do everything we can in reconciliation to try to get it undone. And that is.
I haven't done it in a minute, so let's get a read off. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button. It sends people into the poll for the poll of the day. And the poll of the day, again, is our runoff. And right now, Mr. J.D. Vance is running off with 100% of it. 7 votes in, though. And let's do the read off real quick. Haven't done it in a second. Let's look at the chat. The chat says, look at this goofy. We're trimming the FBI while ICE gets 9x their budget to play Trump's master private army. Pure fraud. Watching our taxes fund a literal police state. But you all won't recognize that anyway as well. You'll just overlook that because it doesn't fit into your narrow-minded views. Vance, Rubio, 2028, Vance, and 32. There is no current Democrat that is capable of winning a national election, except for Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris or whoever you put up there, because literally the Democratic state is literally like slop brain. Like, if you have slop brain, you will agree. Cat Williams, 2028, facts! Facts, my guy. Listen to Schumer talk about corruption is a joke. He is impotent of corruption or whatever. I don't even know what that fucking word is.
Case.
Whatever, bro.
It will, if they come back
and
keep these things in their bill, we'll keep that fight, but we'll also be reminding
and then
people
we'll finally
over
give
and
it
over
up
again on the costs of living, the affordability issue, which is number one and always has been number one for us. And the reason we hate this stuff so badly is not just its innate corruption, which turns your stomach, but because it stands in the way of us doing...
Chucky, that is why gas is more expensive in every blue state, you idiot. It's because they tax the hell out of it. There is none so blind as they who will not see. Democratic state right now are ridiculous to try and live in food prices. Gas prices are just ridiculous. Even the fares for buses right now, like $3. Exactly. But their thing is to complain about it and act like the person in charge has some kind of responsibility to it so that they can get in charge. But they don't have a policy that would actually lower any of these prices. So they're just hoping to win the election off of it. But what are they going to do when they get there? The same thing as Joe Biden, just increase the price. The Democratic National Committee is broken and in my debt by millions of dollars. They have zero chance of winning a national election.
We were sent here to do.
I don't know
Get down those
about
prices.
that.
Yes. Look, the bottom line is that this war in Iran he still hasn't said what the goal is. He still hasn't said how much it's going to cost. He still hasn't said how long it's going to last and how he's going to pay for it. And so, yes, this war undermines all the other things that we think need to be done. Yes.
Just to clarify, beyond possible amendments, is there anything that's in a Democrat's plan to do legislatively to block this anti-weaponization fund? And separately, do you agree with the findings of this new DNC autopsy report?
Well, look, we'll do everything we can to stop this slush fund, whether it's in the courts, whether it's legislative, whether it's through...
But why? Why are you trying to stop the slush fund? The slush fund is from what? Funds that have nothing to do with you. So he's basically like, we want to make sure that we control all money, even money that's not ours. And we will continue to do that. That's insane. That's an insane thing to say out loud. $3.99 in North Mississippi. That's insane too. That's insane too. Mississippi should never go above $3 a gallon. Ever. They are too poor. The Democrats are the ones that caused this San Francisco used to be one of the greatest tour spots in California. Now you go there, you can't leave your car because it'll get broken into. Retired truck, you suck. You can't walk or you see human faces everywhere. What else can I point out about San Francisco right now? All of the Democratic cities are a mess.
Reconciliation or any other legislative means.
And they're worried about trying to stop a fucking ballroom with money that's not even theirs. Like, what are you guys doing? This makes no sense.
As for the second, I haven't seen the report
yet.
I've been kind of
I know.
busy
I
today.
live in one.
Last one.
What is your opinion on the lifting sanction on Russian oil? And there are a lot
I think Trump has been
Trump,
far
Trump,
too
Trump,
cozy
Trump,
with
Trump,
Putin
Trump,
and
Trump,
not
Trump.
strong enough for Ukraine.
I think
One
Trump,
of the
Trump,
things we'd
Trump,
like
Trump,
to
Trump,
do
Trump, Trump.
is impose those sanctions on Russia, which still the Republicans aren't
Trump,
ready to go forward
Trump.
with. Thank you, everybody.
Democrats currently have 19% favorability rating. Yeah, well, I'm not really worried about the ratings. Ratings suck. Ratings are fake news. Okay, let's see here. Actor Noah Wild participates in rally for healthcare. No, thank you. Oh, wait, Noah Wild. I actually like that guy. Tell me he's not here for the Dems. Tell me he's not here for the Dems. He better be here to fix something, because if he's here for the Dems, I'll be upset.
Here we go! Good.
Too thin. Affordable. Quality.
Valuing community members
No, he's
provides
there for the Dems.
fail thought would happen. I let the thing. Exactly who she is.
Clearly, and there's a tough act anywhere. Following her at a rally for healthcare professionals at the United States Capitol is a different kind of impossible. Wow. Mom.
You want to know why we're listening to this guy? Because he plays an actor on TV and he got an Emmy. Congratulations on your Emmy for playing a fake doctor. That's why you got to speak last at the Democratic Convention for Healthcare. Because that's what they think healthcare is. Announces all World Cup events in city will be free. Okay, calm down. What are we saying here? This makes no sense. Other countries wish they had Trump. Noah Wild from ER in the show. He's on the pit now. I love him as an actor. Shut the fuck up. He's gonna ruin himself.
Let's have a round of applause.
U.S. citizens were chanting Trump, 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 Trump.
Welcome. My name is Maya Honda, the New York City World Cup czar, and we are so... First conversation, joy of the crowd.
A delight. Good morning, everyone. What a delight it is to be here together in Harlem, surrounded by so many soccer, football fans of the world's game, as we make an enormously exciting announcement. And I want to echo our World Cup czar Maya Honda's acknowledgments of the CEO of FIFA World Cup 2026 NYNJ host committee, Alex Lasry, who's here with us. We have our World Cup czar, who has been intrepid in her fight for the fulfilling of a vision of this tournament that would match the magic that we know it can create. Okay. And I want to acknowledge also New York's very own Tim Weah, who's here with us. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Loser.
Truly.
Okay. All right, love hanging out with
Truly
all
a
of you.
star,
Love
not
chatting,
just in this
but
city,
I gotta
not
get
just in this country.
going. All right, peace, Chayton. Appreciate you. Come back tomorrow. See you then. Mayor Mondana, we're live at least 1 hour every day. If we hit over 10,000, we go for 2 hours. We hit 20,000, we go 3 hours. We just keep going and going and going. Mayor Mondani, we need more Muslims in public office. I would say no. We need less, but I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Fucking commies. Can't watch this socialist, Marxist, Democrat, socialist commie!
But in the world, and to be here with you, it is just such an...
But if he does the real, actual socialist thing, it could be really awesome. Because right now he's saying everything for the World Cup is going to be free. Reality, we all know. What does a commie do? He says something's free. It's not really free.
Example of what we want this tournament to be for New Yorkers. I'm proud to also be here with our city councilman of this district, City Council Member Yusuf Salam.
Really good commie is what, children? Hell no, we don't.
Our city council member all the way from Southeast Queens, Sylvina Brooks Powers.
He's doing the job, bro.
And I want to also acknowledge the leaders who are standing alongside us, who are here with...
I feel like he doing about as much for Democrats as Trump's doing for Republicans. He's doing his own fucking thing, trying to help the people.
With us, who are both leaders in our own administration, but also leaders across the city, who have been organizing for the city we deserve, building the city we deserve, and also many of whom represent the African excellence in this city that we deserve.
Thank you, Mayor.
And with that, we also want to acknowledge Harlem Tavern for hosting us here today. It's truly a pleasure. And I have to say, as someone who grew up not too far from here, it's lovely to be back at Harlem Tavern. I used to come here to watch soccer sometimes. Now it's great to actually be able to talk about it with all of you.
They hella advanced 20 years ahead of America.
And, you know, as I've gone through everyone that we're acknowledging, I just want to take an extra moment about Tim Weah, who's here with us.
Again, reminding you guys, this was titled... Mondani announces all World Cup events in city will be free. 3 minutes in, I have not heard the word all or the word free. Sounds very, very socialist.
Who is someone who cares deeply about making the World Cup more affordable.
This is the thing. Like, the kids don't when they go, the kids just don't understand. Like, you're always a commie when you're young. Like, yeah, because... You think people like this are giving the truth. You think that when you read this is reality. But then you play it, and he doesn't say any of those things. Which then leads you to believe what? He's lying. So then when you grow older, you go, commies are liars.
And someone who has
the idea
given
of
a
communism
platform
works.
to what so many have been
But it
talking and
doesn't
thinking
work.
about across the city and across this country.
Corruption always
And I want you to
takes
know
it.
that everybody here in this city is going to be cheering for you in this tournament. We are so excited. Truly.
Yeah, where is the money going to come from?
Now,
exactly.
When talking about a World Cup that's only 21 days away, it feels only right that we stand here today in Little Senegal. And we know that if any of the teams are coming to this World Cup with a point to prove from the African continent, we know that the Lions of Teranga are right there up there. And I've been told this many times, I have no idea what it means, but Senegal rek. I pray that is appropriate to have said in this setting. Now, I want to recognize all the fans of the West African nations who have qualified. I want to give it up for Côte d'Ivoire, who have qualified for this, for Ghana, for Senegal, last but not least, for Cape Verde. This will be the first World Cup that the Blue Sharks compete in, one of the smallest and least populated nations to qualify for the tournament. And as I think about the journey ahead for Cape Verde,
still has yet to say the words free or all.
The magic that every New Yorker with Cape Verdean roots will feel, I cannot help but think back to memories of the 2002 World Cup in South Korea, where Senegal were participating in their first tournament. And I was 10 years old at the time, and I remember it as the first time that my father let me be late to school. Because we know that on-time attendance did not stand a chance against Pan-Africanism.
Sounds like there won't be any World Cup
And when I
games
remember
in New
that
York.
tournament, what
Gavin
comes to
Newsom
mind
for
to me
president?
is not Brazil lifting the trophy or Ronaldo's incredible haircut as he did so. It was the goal that Papa Bouba Diop scored against France in that opening game. It was Fabien Barthez scrambling to try and keep the ball out but not being able to. And above all, it was the deafening roar that came from the Seoul World Cup Stadium. That stadium was full of fans. Fans who had saved up to travel from Senegal and from France to support their teams. Working class fans from Seoul who could afford to buy a ticket to the match. The cost of a Category 3 ticket to that match was 150,000 won, or about $120. Not cheap, but within reach for a special occasion.
Okay.
And yet as we prepare to host the World Cup right outside of New York City,
you know what? Fucking yes. Yes to this speech. Yes to the setup. Let's see where it goes.
we know that ticket prices for this tournament have soared into the thousands of dollars. There are countless New Yorkers desperate to attend a World Cup match, but who simply cannot afford to go. Many of them have somehow found my number and asked me if I can help them with Morocco-Brazil. There's nothing individually I can do for you, brother, but we are here to talk about something that we're proud to do together.
That was a good joke.
Because
we know what's
last
going on
year, I said that we would change that. I said we had to make it cheaper for New Yorkers to attend these matches. And today, I am so proud to stand here alongside so many leaders in our city and in our region to make it clear that we are doing exactly that. We are making sure that working people will not be priced out of the game that they helped to create. And that is why we stand together today to say that we have partnered with the New York-New Jersey Host Committee to secure 1,000 affordable tickets for New Yorkers to the World Cup.
All right. But you have to do what you can do. That's the cherry.
These 1,000 tickets are going to be split into...
No. See, okay, look, here's the problem. That is the cherry. The government has no reason to be getting involved in the actual ticket sales and putting up cheaper tickets for New Yorkers until they make the overall price for the person going to the event cheaper. The first thing you should be doing is saying all buses are free. The second thing you should be doing is saying all transit is free. The third thing you should be doing is saying there will be triple the amount of security and police at all corners of New York to make sure everyone is safe and they can travel freely. Then you go into Uber surge rates. If you reach an Uber surge rate, we're going to make sure that you don't pay any city tax on that. You know what a New York City, Manhattan tax is on a fucking Uber going from Manhattan outside to New Jersey? About $40-50. Take that off the top of your $300 Uber to the fucking stadium, you're looking at a lot of savings. This is the problem that people have with these socialist communist ideas, is that their perspective on this is to benefit the really poor person that was never going to go to the event and give them a chance to what? Feel like a rich person and barely get there? Because now you're going to give away these 1,000 tickets. Those people are either going to be provided transportation by you so that they don't have to pay for it, or they're going to be in the same snake oil bullshit as everyone else that you could have prevented. This is what you, if you want to do socialism, by all means, but start with a free city bus the week of the World Cup. Start with free trains the entire month of the World Cup. Start with higher end security, more NYPD at every corner so that people are secure during the World Cup. 1,000 tickets into a lottery does nothing. Does nothing for no one. That's a cherry on top. That's something you should do after you've done those three other things. After you've made it secure for everyone, after you've made it cheaper for everyone, after you've made sure that everyone can travel that can get a ticket, then you should look at the people that can't afford to get a ticket and say, yes, let's help them out as well. But to say, let's give these people a chance to go to the fucking World Cup, and then they too have to survive the fucking Long Island Railroad ticket price. That's bullshit. That does nothing for anybody.
Matches of 150 tickets for each of the 5 group stage matches and 2 knockout round matches in New York, New Jersey, and tickets will cost only $50.
That's not a ticket price. That's a lottery. That's literally like what they do on Broadway every single night. Sure, awesome. You're the government now running a fucking lottery for the World Cup. Awesome. But you could have fucking actually made things cheaper for people. You didn't.
To put that into perspective, that is 5 lattes in New York City. And since it is not just ticket costs that make this tournament unaffordable, but the cost of travel as well,
thank you.
We will be providing free round-trip bus transportation to MetLife for those who get a ticket.
For those that get a ticket, do you hear that, people? Do you hear that, people? Exactly what I was getting at. It should socialism should start with benefiting everyone in the public. Everyone should get a free bus ride. And then we can give away 1,000 tickets. Everyone should get free transportation. Everyone should feel safe. Everyone should not be robbed. And then we can give away these tickets. Instead, it's what? Fucking Hunger Games? For New York City lottery? Oh, if you win this lottery, you only have to pay $50. Why are you even charging them? Is there like, what, a tax loophole or some shit? This is maddening retardation. Yo, free transportation too. Yeah, free transportation too because it's costing an arm and a leg for anybody to get there. You could have just not paid for any of the 1,000 tickets and just given everyone collective free transportation. I should be the fucking mayor of New York.
I want everyone to understand, your chance on getting these tickets is not impacted at all by who you know.
No, it's
we will be
impacted by a
distributing
lottery.
these tickets through a lottery that opens this coming Monday, May 25th.
But that's what's fucking ridiculous. You're even saying, I'll give you free transportation to the event because you know it's too expensive. Why do this lottery? Eliminate the lottery. Eliminate the fucking showmanship and just pay for free transportation for everybody. Socialist mayor of New York, everyone. More worried about his fucking lottery with his friends and making sure he's on TV. And that those 1,000 people have the advantage of going for free for $50. Than literally just doing something blanket across the fucking table that could benefit everybody in New York.
10 a.m. New Yorkers may enter once a day, and we'll cap it at 50,000 entries per day. This will be over the course of a few days. Now, I know that Philly fans may try to crash this lottery and get revenge for the home games that the Knicks won, but New York is actually a sports town, and we are giving our tickets to sports fans. So we will verify eligibility using a variety of methods to make sure that only New Yorkers are purchasing these tickets. We want to open the tournament to working people who couldn't otherwise afford it, not to scalpers. That's why we're making tickets non-transferable, and we'll dispense them directly to winners at the bus boarding location. Brazilian New Yorkers are going to sit next to Moroccan New Yorkers. Ecuadorian fans
that guy
are going to try and convince their German counterparts that...
Also, once you get this fucking ticket, we're going to force you to take it. You are not to fucking sell this ticket. Okay, Grandpa. Like
Piero
fucking...
Hincapi can defend Sergei Gnabry. Our city will watch together, celebrate together,
when
shout
you figure out the left line, that's all on exactly.
And share
this. He's like, how am I going to help you all during the World Cup? I'm not. I'm going to select 1,000 of you and only help those ones. Classic commie switcheroo.
Tournament together. We are the first host city to organize an initiative like this. City Hall's commitment to tackling the cost of living crisis isn't limited to making it easier to afford home or childcare. It extends to making it possible for every New Yorker to take part in the things that make us human. Rest, joy, celebrating the French conceding from crosses in the box. On June 16th, we will see Senegal play France yet again, this time just across the Hudson River. This will be the first time two teams have competed.
Why not transferable? Because we are eliminating capitalism and moving into whatever the fuck he wants, I guess. Because again, this isn't like trying to benefit everybody. This is trying to benefit only 1,000 people. And they do not want you to do any sort of capitalism with your $1,000 selection. You're one of the 1,000 people that are selected. No capitalism allowed. Why are you acting like this is bad? Because you could have literally eliminated paying for 1,000 tickets to the World Cup, which were uber expensive, as well as transportation to the World Cup, which was uber expensive, and you could have just said, actually, let's not do this program. Let's just make the buses free for the weekend. Even just one weekend of the World Cup. The opening weekend of the World Cup, when everybody's coming into town, that weekend only, it's free. Or, if you can afford it, the whole time, free buses. Lot better money spent than, actually, you voted for me, and I'm here to benefit you, the true New Yorkers. If you are one of the 1,000 people selected, then I will help you out. If not, go fuck yourself. I'm not giving you shit. Literally saying that. You're not benefiting from this at all. You're actually paying me to speak right now. But you're not going to benefit from this at all unless you're one of the 1,000 selected.
2002.
See the problem here?
A 10-year-old will be watching. It will be the first football match they remember when they are older. And when they remember that match, they won't only remember the goals that are scored, the tackles that are made,
because in communism, everything is their business.
the saves that felt impossible.
Is this really a big
deal? They'll also
deal?
remember how loud
this is actually is an actual huge deal, because this is literally like what everybody said he was going to do, and like this is what Grandpa and Grandma were saying when they go, you can't ever trust a commie. They're always a switcheroo. They're like, socialism is fucking dead. You can't really do it. And you sit here and you think Bernie Sanders. You think fucking Elizabeth Warren. You might get tired of them, but as a millennial, you still think that idea can work. And then this guy comes along and he's essentially Bernie Sanders Trump style, and he can't be president. So this is about as good as it gets for this guy. And he comes in and does the Bernie Sanders thing. He says, I'm going to help everybody. And the first thing you would think when you're trying to help everybody as the mayor of New York for the World Cup, you would think the first thing would be, how do we benefit everyone? Instead, his perspective is, how do I give the illusion that I'm benefiting everybody, but only benefit 1,000 selected New Yorkers? Well, there you go. There you go. There's the prime example of exactly what he will do in all of his policies. He wants to benefit a few of you so that it looks like he's benefiting all of you. But in reality, he's not implementing actual socialist policy, actual communist policy, because the philosophy behind both of those governing philosophies is that you would benefit everyone the same. We're all the same. And if we're all the same, then we all should get a free fucking trip to New Jersey. It's only $7. Instead, it's everybody fucking enter, and then I'll look at your Instagram, and if I like you, then I'll give you a non-transferable ticket with free ride to the game. But also, if you're selected, you're not going to be able to get anybody to go with you. So also you have to go by yourself on a government ticket, on a government bus, and you have to pay $50 still. And then you get to sit next to me and a bunch of other government weirdos in New York and go to one World Cup game. Congratulations. You got to experience the World Cup. You want to know who's actually going to get selected for this shit? The people that really apply. The people that apply to that by themselves and want to actually go are people that are like, I just want to be able to see the World Cup before I die. Not actual fans. Not actual fans of the game. No, people that are like, that would be really cool if I got to go to the World Cup, same as the Super Bowl. So you can get a bunch of fucking old ladies, old liberal Mondani ladies getting selected, only benefiting 1,000 people. Only benefiting 1,000 people, but socialism.
Stadium sounded, how people cheered together, jumped up and down together, shared the beautiful game together. They'll remember a sport that felt like...
Now he's benefiting New York City because the lottery for the ticket is going to make a bunch of money. Doesn't get much more capitalist than that.
It belonged to everyone and felt like it could also belong to them. That is what we are delivering today, my friends. Thank you so much. Now, I know that our World Cup czar is emceeing this, and I will allow her to MC the rest of this, but I do want to just take the privilege for this next individual, because truly this is a day that is only possible thanks to the partnership of the host committee. 5 boroughs, New York, New Jersey. So often that if I collect the national team, making it. But before we open it up to questions, I just want to take a moment to recognize all of the different jerseys that we have here.
Fuck! Fuck! Ow! Ow! Ah! God damn! Aaron! Come on, my guy! Come on! Wow, your incredibly dumb World Cup tickets are every expensive 1,000 tickets are extremely generous. No. Again, it's not about generosity. He's supposed to be socialist. He's supposed to make sure that at least Robin Hood, like, we all get a piece of it. 1,000 people isn't we all get a piece of it. 1,000 people is we pay for 1,000 tickets. If we select you, you too get to become an elite for one day. That's not. He's Muslim. What he delivered today was total bullshit. Hey, Jason. More than 2 million New Yorkers went to the polls, marking the city's highest voter turnout in 2 decades. What's up, allegory? I do not have any idea how you people are able to tolerate the chant from their evil Muslim chants. What part of New York does that? Brother, the stadium is only so big. Other people need to go to the match. Bro, you're missing the point. Don't give away tickets to the match. Just allow us all a free bus ride to the match. I know that's way underwhelming, but that actually is socialist. Everybody gets to go to New Jersey and back for free. One exchange. $5. Use it if you want to, even if you're not part of the World Cup. But having an exclusive anything is literally inherently anti-socialism.
Because it just gives you a glimpse into what this tournament means to New Yorkers, right? We have the Egyptian national team represented over there. I see the Tanzanian national team. I see the Ugandan national team, the Kenyan national team. We have the Moroccan national team. Brother, what we got right here? Eritrean national team over here. But we got Bangladesh over here. Kemonaso. We got Cameroon. We got to take this. 22 years I waited to put this on. So it's been a long time, and I just think, you know, what you can see and feel in so many New Yorkers are the memories that we have of World Cups from our youth. You know, I remember being a young kid in Kampala, Uganda, picking up a copy of the New Vision newspaper, the Daily Monitor newspaper, looking for the coupons that if I collected 8 of them, I would get a limited edition World Cup ball from the nearby gas station. These are the kinds of things.
That is the thing, though, is that, like, while you can complain about his policy and you can kind of burn it to death, you can do the same thing to Trump. But at the end of the day, he's authentic. And being an authentic human being, just like with Donald Trump, that's what wins you over. And if we're going to sit here and live in a land of empty promises no matter what, I would rather have authentic human beings be the ones that are talking to me. They're publicly speaking for my nation. That story right there, the way that he led up the beginning of it, very Trumpian, very public relations savvy, very understanding and very relatable. Not even like an Obama. Because like an Obama is like unrelatable. He's very relatable. For a capitalist, secret socialist, like, what is it, Leno? Like, public socialist, secret capitalist? Is that what he's doing right now?
When you're thinking about the Panini stickers, when you're thinking about all of the ways in which this tournament has been remembered by so many, That is what this summer offers for a new generation. And we heard it from one of the stars of our national team that this is an opportunity to bring the next generation into the game. And as someone who grew up playing soccer in this city, we know that too often there are too many cost barriers, not just to watching soccer, but even playing soccer.
Right, I get it. But you're basically saying, so we're giving you the chance to become an elite for the day. Not we want to make this cheaper for everybody and change the policies of America. No. We agree. The bus should be super expensive for everybody. The train should be increased in price. It should be a surge out of 400 for an Uber. Because it's the World Cup and I believe in capitalism is literally what he's saying. But he's saying, but it's really hard out there for a fucking little kid. So that wants to get a ability to go to the World Cup. So I'm going to give him a lottery chance because I remember collecting all the stickers thinking I could get this cup. So what if I could have my mom or dad apply online to potentially go to the World Cup by myself? Because I don't think they select families. I think they're selecting individuals again. So this is like a weird thing. And like how many of these matches, because again, like I think it was 100 per group match or some shit like that. And you just get a random group match, but you're like, yay, I get to go to the World Cup. Yay, I'm at the World Cup. Yay. Daddy, can we buy anything? No, we're broke as fuck and we only got this because it's free. I mean, $50 or whatever. No, motherfucker. Like, you could have literally just cheaped into anything. You could have been like, at the state, like, the government has subsidized with $500,000 the stadium price for a hot dog. And so when you go to the World Cup, you're only going to have to pay $50 or $1 for a hot dog. But that still wouldn't even be socialist because that would only pertain to citizens that crossed the state line into New Jersey and went to the game. The socialist response to this would literally be to change the transportation cost of any of the public transportations of New York over that area. Instead, that doesn't have the flash, the pizzazz. So instead, let's create a fucking lottery to give people the chance to go and become an elite for the day.
And we want to make it as easy as possible for the world's game to be enjoyed
Thoughts
by
on massive
everyone across the
immigration in the
borough.
UK
So I
and the
just
US?
can't thank all of you.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Trump is not an American. He doesn't care about anything but scamming people.
You enough for being here. I know now we will open it up to some questions.
Scammer of New York. Goes both ways.
All right. Thank you. We're going to take some on-topic questions first about the announcement. We'll start with Catherine.
The money for that rent.
Thank you.
Vance will not win.
Wondering if you can talk about the application process, what it's going to look like, if there are questions.
Did New York forget about 9/11 Islam and terrorism? Hello. So he's not socialist enough? He's literally not socialist at all. He's not socialist at all. He's like, I believe in capitalism. I think Coca-Cola should make the tickets really, really expensive for everybody, and nobody should be allowed to go. But as the government in New York, we're going to buy a bunch of tickets, and we're going to create our own little lottery so that people think I'm cool. So if you're one of 1,000 people, you could become an elite for the day.
So I'll just go through kind of the overall of it. So these are 1,000 tickets. They'll be split into batches of 150. Those 150 will be for the 5 group games and then the 2 knockout round games in New York, New Jersey. Now, this will be open starting Monday at 10 a.m. until midnight for 6 days. You can sign up once a day for the lottery. We are capping each day's sign-ups at 50,000. The only people that can sign up are New Yorkers. And we will verify that they are New Yorkers through a process that we have full confidence in. Each of these tickets will be $50. If you win the right to purchase this ticket, you will also win the right to purchase an additional ticket. So it will be 2 tickets for you and a family member or a friend, whomever you want to go with. And that is all going to be determined.
It's super cool. And so it gets you the vote. But it's not what you should be doing if you're actually here for socialism. If you're here for socialism, you should be saying everybody gets a free ride to and from the stadium on the public transit. Whether that's LIRR or that's the fucking bus, I will give them the transit sticker. And that doesn't sound cool. That doesn't sound very cool. What sounds cool to everybody that's a Democrat, that's a younger voter, is, oh my God, I voted for Montani and now I might be able to go to the World Cup for $50. I would think the same thing if I was 24 years old working in the city. That's pretty fucking cool. And if you get in there, you're the way you're doing this, you're making sure that you get at least 1,000 votes and any of their family members, no matter what. It's almost like paying directly for votes instead of literally just subsidizing the transportation throughout the weekend, which is what you could do very easily.
By anyone who enters this lottery, we are going to ensure that there is representation from each borough across the 5 boroughs. Otherwise, this is just simply a question of chance. And we want it to be something where every New Yorker knows that they don't need to have the number of an elected official or someone else that they view as closer to the World Cup. This is just a question of if you sign up, and then it's just a question of crossing your fingers. And it's going to be something that we're also coupling with free round-trip bus transportation, because we know that the...
Right, but if you know that it's expensive for everyone else, then why are you just not get rid of the tickets, sell the tickets back, and give everyone free bus transportation? This is insane. You're literally doing what you campaigned against. You said, look at the elites. They're over here doing these things, and then we're not a part of it. That's literally what you're doing. You're creating a contest. It's insane.
Issues of cost when it comes to this World Cup have not been exclusive just to the question of the cost of the ticket, but also the cost of transit.
And look at how they program it. Announces all World Cup events in city will be free. Yeah, for 1,000 people. But it sounds real good, doesn't it? When you read that in the paper. Everything's free.
So excited, frankly.
That's not what's happening here. And they could have made something free. They could have said, we're just going to do transportation for the very first day for free. For everyone that goes. And anybody that doesn't go, that's just a New Yorker. Everyone gets to access this. That's socialism. Having a fucking capitalist contest like M&M's, oh, you get to win a ticket through the government. That's insane.
Because we know that there are so many New Yorkers who thought that there was no way they could afford to go to this tournament. And now there is that glimpse of an opportunity, and we cannot wait to see who will win and who will...
Right, and like I said, that's fine. Do that as a cherry on top. But the beginning of this needs to start with everybody gets access to something. Everyone that's in New York, all 5 boroughs, get access to this. You know, kind of like when you sign up to do Uber Eats, they'll be like, you all get access to the online college or whatever. You always get the benefits. There should be a benefit to everyone to start with. That's socialism. Then if you want to do this cool thing where you go, and you get the glimpse at actually getting it. Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. But you should be benefiting everybody always as well. You can't be doing that and not the other. You're essentially doing exactly what everybody fears for capitalism and communism, which is that it's going to turn out like the Soviet Union. You're doing it right here in front of our eyes. You're saying, no, I will not help everyone get to the World Cup for free. I will help only 1,000 people get to the World Cup for free because that benefits me and my people. But you're an elected public official, supposed to be benefiting everybody.
Who will be purchasing these tickets, because they will also show the magic of this tournament across the 5 boroughs.
Haley.
So how much did the host committee pay for these tickets?
Sorry, can you?
How much does the host committee pay for the tickets?
These are part of the conversations that we've been having with the host committee and the partnership that we've built with the host committee over this time. I can tell you that there's no taxpayer funding going towards the allocation of these tickets. These are something that I really do want to attribute the work of so many for actually bringing to a realization. This is something that is part of those conversations, not any taxpayer.
What does that mean? So no, we didn't. No, you didn't pay for them, but no, I can't tell you where they came from. It sounds a lot like Trump with this fucking ballroom, where Trump's like, but actually Trump has more of a valid argument at the ballroom. He's like, me and my billionaire friends, and we're all billionaires, we did this by ourselves. Prove it otherwise. This guy's saying, I went in a meeting and someone, they figured it out. Did they give them to you? They figured it out. What happened? They figured it out. Okay, but did we, well, I just want to let you know, you didn't pay for them. We figured it out. What the fuck does that mean?
Funding.
Have you spoken to anyone Arsenal first in the last couple of days? I know you speak about Arsenal, and then also
Well, there you go. Whole argument destroyed.
How are you specifically going to do that?
So this is going to be a full process that we will be running through the link of this process.
Yes, the World Cup committee, no taxpayer dollars. Okay, so did he say that though? Did he say the World Cup gave these to us for free? Or did he say, no, it was decided in a room with a committee? That doesn't mean that he didn't pay for them.
It's just for New Yorkers, and don't worry, we will distribute this widely for everyone to know, is REG, REGNYC-TIX.
Probably traded something for it.
REG NYC TIX.
Probably traded something for it. Like a fucking Pokemon card? We will shovel your driveways in New Jersey for 17 weeks if you will give us the tickets for free.
.com. And what we are going to see there is...
Yeah, you did. Look, watch. I'll pull it back.
I can tell you that there's no taxpayer funding going... These are part of the conversations that we've been having with the host committee and
he's been having it in the conversation.
The partnership that we've built with the host committee over this time. I can tell you that there's no taxpayer funding going towards the allocation of these tickets.
Okay, so you're not paying it with taxpayer funding, but it's happening in a committee. He's not saying the committee gave them to us for free. He's not saying the FIFA gave the city of New York a bunch of free tickets. He's saying, I promise we didn't pay for them. But also, conversation in a committee.
These are something that I really do want to attribute the work of so many for actually bringing to a realization.
All right, work of so many to a realization. That was not an answer. Not like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, not an answer.
In weeks to come to keep people going everywhere. Inshallah, brother.
Any other questions from the press about today's announcement? Yes, right here.
Could you tell us a little bit about the meeting with Gianni Infantino? Did you make this, I know you're trying to make this World Cup accessible for working class New Yorkers. Is this something that came up in the meeting, and did you express the frustrations about the ticket prices, the price to the public transport in New Jersey? Is that something, can you give us any insight on how the conversation might be?
I've shared both publicly and privately my belief that the World Cup needs to be something that is affordable for working class New Yorkers and working class people in general. And I appreciate the work of FIFA and the host committee in ensuring that we are able to realize that not simply in these 1,000 tickets, but frankly also in the fact that we've been able to make these fan fests free. Initially, these were going to be events that would be charged for attendance. We want these to be moments where New Yorkers can experience the thrill of the game.
Right, through sponsorships, through activity hunting, I get it all, but it's not exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, Let's see, what else we got? Stephen Miller. Mr. Stevie Miller.
Where an administration official is...
ICE's work, very essential on deportations. ICE also has one of the largest criminal investigative portfolios in the entire U.S. government. So,
if Stephen Miller keeps dressing like this, just wearing these glasses, solid move. Dude needs to... The epitome of having to wear shades inside is Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller should never be caught without shades on. This is peak Stephen Miller. How awful. Nothing is free. You guys are insightful socialists because the prompter is going to get paid for those tickets regardless. They didn't just hand them over exactly.
A major component of ICE is Homeland Security investigations, which is a federal criminal investigative arm with the same set and body of authorities as the FBI. They do a huge amount of work with Secret Service,
Double tap, hit
example.
that screen, hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please. We want to get to that 30th like before the end of our stream here. We're almost hitting the end of that second hour. Let's take a look at our poll right now. Our poll right now is sitting pretty at 97 votes, 47 minutes, 13 minutes left in the show right now. Unless we hit 20,000 by the end of those 13 minutes, which we're kind of slowing down. We're teetering. It is a Thursday night. There isn't much news for us tonight, guys. 99 votes in, and JD Vance is holding strong, guys. 12 minutes left. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe so that you send more people into the chat for every political persuasion to get the chat rolling. Let's go. This guy was bullied his whole life. The Democrats' policies and actions are driven entirely by autonomously and hate towards animosity and hate towards Trump, rather than by a desire to solve problems for the American people. Who is the bald douchebag? Bald douchebag Stephen Miller. We need more blacks and browns in the USA for our culture and economy. I like your show. Appreciate you. Also, you like my show, and you're a number one chatter right now? Hell yeah. We're putting that on there. Third modder of the night. You've just been modded. Daro 8616. Basically, I just mod people every once in a while when I love that they're continuing to have the chat active, keeping it going, keeping the conversations moving. It's my way of showing my appreciation to you. And also, you can now hold down on anybody that is bugging you in the chat. Put them in timeout, anything from 60 seconds to a full day, 24 hours. We don't really ban anybody here, because when we ban people, it's just like, having the hate is the conversation, is it not? And with that said, you will also see the chats will pull up and it'll say show or hide. You can always show the comment. Usually it just means that somebody said the word pedophile or fuck or whatever. I don't give a shit. We're here to pay attention to reality, okay?
Protecting America
Not even top 30th
from
president.
Assassinations and lethal
Thank you.
plotting.
I can't help myself.
They
Sorry.
did a lion's share of work on child trafficking, child smuggling, child pornography, also drug trafficking, counter-cartel, and many other essential investigations that relate to public safety. So it is a huge threat to public safety to not have full funding for the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol. And of course, on the southern border, you're dealing with threats every day from foreign terrorist organizations that operate on and control the territory all across Mexico on the Mexican side of the U.S. southern border. I have time just for one more question. I'm sorry.
The disinformation in Brazil that next week President Trump is going to meet the Bolsonaro's son. Do you have this?
I don't have any update on that. Sorry.
Is there someone that the president is unhappy with?
Sorry, I don't have an answer to that question. So yes.
Republicans don't seem to be interested in the $1.8 billion fund. That clearly was a sticking point today up on Capitol Hill. Is there anyone that the president is reaching out to, making calls to? It's not going to be on his desk by June 1st, which I think is a deadline he had set earlier. So,
well, that's a good closing question, only because it allows me to say this, which is that we lived through 4 years of, more than 4 years actually, but I'll just say 4 years in this case, of unimaginable weaponization of the federal government against innocent people. We've had so many lives. Again, it really goes back, so I would say further, but so many lives destroyed, so many livelihoods ruined, so many people who were deprived of their fundamental rights and freedoms as American citizens. And this settlement is just a small measure of the justice that they are owed. Anyways, thank you all for your time.
how are the Iran talks going?
Wow.
That's You've been watching.
All right, let's see what else. Oh, we got Rubio, Mr. Rubio over here. Everyone should have TDS at this point. I have a little bit.
Next, Secretary of State Marco Rubio for his official trip to Sweden and India. He talks about the negotiations with Iran regarding the Strait of Hormuz and the indictment of former
9
Cuban
minutes left of
President
the show,
Raul
y'all.
Castro.
Double tap, hit that like button, get us sent in. More people to that vote. 111 votes in. Final victor in 8 minutes.
You guys going with us? Are you guys go? All right, let's go. Come on. What? Thank you. I'm sorry, my son graduated high school last night, so that's why we were here. Thank you.
Can you tell us about Iran talking about trying to formalize with Oman a tolling system for the Strait of Hormuz? How does the U.S. view that?
Well, we've always said a tolling system in the Straits would be unacceptable, but we don't just say that. The world has said that. We have a resolution right now in the United Nations. We're trying to take it to the Security Council. It's sponsored by Bahrain. It has over 100-something. The highest number of co-sponsors in the history of the Security Council have signed on to our resolution. We were in China last week. We mentioned this about the tolling. They're against it. No one in the world is in favor of a tolling system. It can't happen. It would be unacceptable. It would make a diplomatic deal unfeasible if they were to continue to pursue that. So it's a threat to the world if they were to try to do that. And it's completely illegal, by the way. Go ahead.
Mr. Secretary,
next vice president.
Cuba's drone fleet posing a national security threat
Damn!
to the U.S.?
Yesterday he was number one on Kelce, guys.
Florida,
he only had one day of number one on Kelce, but he was number one yesterday.
I'm not going to comment on military matters or national security threats directly linked to the United States in specificity. Here's what I can tell you. Cuba not only has weapons that they've acquired from Russia and China over the years, but they also host Russia and Chinese intelligence presence in their country, not far from where we're standing right now. So
Vance decided
Cuba's always
he
posed a
doesn't
national
want to be
security threat to the
president.
United
It should be
States.
Marco, otherwise
They, by the
Vance
way, have
Rubio
been one of the leading
2028.
sponsors of terrorism in the entire region. You look at the groups that work out of Colombia that have destabilized that country over the years.
Bombing
with
Iran
full
is
support from
illegal.
this regime over there. So Cuba's consistently posed a threat to the national security of the United States. And the other thing that poses a threat to the national security of the United States is to have a failed state 90 miles from our shores run by friends of our adversaries.
Mr. Secretary, is the U.S. administration offended that the regime has not taken you up on the offer of $100 million in humanitarian aid yet?
Are we offended that the Cubans have not accepted our $100 million? Well, they say they've accepted it. We'll see if that means it. Because here's the thing. We're not going to do humanitarian aid that falls into the hands of their military company that they have, and then they take that stuff and they sell it.
I mean, here's the thing that you can argue against with Marco is Marco was the only person in Trump's whole cabinet that got a 100% vote in the Senate. Nobody hates Marco Rubio. Think about the things you could actually get done, and Marco was actually in charge. Bleach Boys said it could, so we did.
Dollar stores and put the money in their pocket. That's not going to work that way. So I was in Rome a couple weeks ago and met with the Catholic Church again. They're prepared to step forward. A bunch of other NGOs. I have a letter in my pocket right now from a humanitarian organization that's already operating inside of Cuba that's prepared to do the distribution. We were able to do about $6 million after the, well, $6 million we dedicated to it. 3 of the $6 million were
5 minutes left,
distributed
y'all.
inside of Cuba
Double
after the
tap, hit
hurricane
that
through
like
the
button.
Catholic Church. Obviously, there's
Send
another
him in
$3
for
million
the
that's being
final
held up,
verdict.
by the way, by the Cubans through their permitting process. We might have just gotten a few days ago permission to do the other $3 million. But we're prepared to do more, but it has to be distributed by groups that are not linked to the regime or to that military company, Gaesa, because they'll just steal it and it'll never get to the people.
Marco has more spine than Democrats. Marco is the leader. He's a good guy. Also, like, if I was going to pick somebody to explain to me the next, like, COVID pandemic thing, I want to hear it from this guy. I don't even want to hear it because I think that J.D. Vance is still going to spin it politically towards his opinion. I think this guy's going to give us to it straight.
Told us 2 days ago when you stopped by.
That's why he'll never be president.
That the WHO was a little
He's
late
too straight.
with your words, I think, in identifying this strain. The
Rubio's not
chief
gay
has
enough
now
to be
responded.
president,
He
guys.
said it might.
Gotta have
because
at
you
least
don't
5%
understand
gay.
The global health policy system. Do you have a response
Well,
to that?
the
sir?
World Health Organization has unfortunately not done well around the world. I think they failed miserably during COVID. They covered for China, and that's how we're getting out of it. That said, we're going to work with anybody who wants to fix that problem. Our number one objective on Ebola, before anything else, and we think it's terrible what's happening there to the people. We've been very involved with DRC on the peace deal with Rwanda and so forth. But our number one thing has to be we can't have it affect the United States. We can't have Ebola cases coming here. So you saw we're now not allowing people to come in. In fact, I think we had a flight last night headed to Detroit that was diverted.
They gotta make
because
sure
we have to protect the
Americans,
American people. So
businessmen
objective
steal
number
it.
one is to make sure that Ebola never
Us
reaches the
Lutherans
United
still
States.
got bone to pick
Objective
with
number
the
two is do what we
Catholics.
can to help the people of DRC and neighboring countries so it doesn't spread. And I think we're up to 600 confirmed cases. There are probably more.
If he's
we'll learn
the
more
Trump
about
cabinet,
it.
then he's
we're providing.
compromised.
I think we've offered.
But he
to fund the first
100%
50
100% in the Senate
that
to
pop
get
up
in.
and are ready to step forward. So
And he
I
hasn't
wish we would've
fucked up
gotten started
since.
on this 2 weeks ago.
He's
The
been a
alert
great
had gone out
communicator
sooner.
of us to
I
other
also recognize
nations.
that the outbreak
Tell me he
began
hasn't been? Come
in
on.
a war-torn country in
When
a
has he
very
fucked
rural
up?
area that perhaps doesn't have.
Bro, he didn't even get the Democrat vote.
Have. But
I would like to see a Rubio Vance ticket, but I don't think that's going to happen. This guy is really on the balls all the time.
again, I want to repeat to everybody: we care about Ebola. We don't want anyone dying or being affected by Ebola.
But he never
our
really
number
fucks
one
up though
priority
either.
will always be making
Like
sure
JD
it
even
doesn't
fuck
come
up
to the
sometimes,
United
but you
States.
don't
That's our number one
see a fuck up of a
obligation.
Rubio.
On NATO,
really.
Mr.
Fuck up.
Secretary.
On what?
On NATO.
NATO.
There are some reports that the US
Rubio
is going to say this
is
week
swamp
that it will
like
reduce its
Vance and the rest of
contribution
them.
to the NATO
Okay. I mean, yeah,
force
sure,
model
but I don't know who
to
you
shrink the
going for
number of
then.
forces available in a crisis.
Well, that wouldn't.
and
First
I
of
don't
all,
know what
any
you're
changes
doing,
to our
man.
posture in NATO would not for me to announce. That's something that the President, the Department of War would do. This is a foreign ministers meeting. We'll talk about some of those issues. I don't think anyone is shocked to know that the United States and the president in particular is very
If he
disappointed
won't stand up
at NATO right now
to
and where it's
corruption
led.
in the White
Understand
House,
that I've been a strong
then
supporter of
he's
NATO my
useless.
entire career. I've defended it. I believe it's
Marco
important.
Rubio
I believe it's
is
important.
a
But the number one thing I used to tell people was the reason why NATO is good
same
for
as
America,
Vance.
because that's the question. Anytime you join anything, you have number one answer has to be
Don't
why
worry,
is it
guys.
good
Nick
for
Fuentes is
America?
coming on soon.
The reason why NATO is good for America, I know why NATO is good for Europe, but why is NATO
Vance
good for America?
cock. He's a
Because it
Vance
gives us
cock.
bases in the region that allow us to project power
Rubio is
during a
controlled by
contingency in
Israel.
the Middle East
Oh my
or somewhere
God, here
else.
we go.
So when that
Yep.
is the key rationale
You guys
for
been
why
watching
you're in
too much
NATO,
Nick Fuentes.
and then you have countries like Spain denying us the use of these bases, well then why are you in NATO? That's a very fair question. Now, in fairness, other countries in NATO have been very helpful. But we need to discuss that. That needs to be addressed. And that's what I hope to address and to set the table for the leaders meeting, which will be happening in Turkey, I think next month, if I'm not mistaken, in July.
Does the administration still believe that your NATO allies are cowards?
That what?
Does the administration still believe that your NATO allies are
Well,
cowards?
the president's been very disappointed. Understand that there are many countries in NATO that agree with us that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, that Iran is a threat to the world. So the president said, fine, I'm going to do something about it. He's not asking them to commit troops. He's not asking them to send their fighter jets
All these
in.
negative waves.
But they
are
refuse to do
downer.
anything.
You got the
So I think the
wrong
president looks at that and says, hold on a
Pelosi,
second.
Schumer,
If all these
AOC,
countries around the
Warren,
world agree
all
with
the
us
crackhead
that
Democrats
Iran
except
can't have a nuclear weapon, that
Fetterman,
this
he has a
regime is a
brain.
threat to world peace and security, that
It's
already have
crazy that
missiles that
Fetterman
can
is
reach
the
Europe.
only
They don't
one
have
with a
missiles
brain,
that can
but
reach
it's
America
true.
yet, but they have missiles that can reach Europe. We're actually step forward and do something about it, and everyone goes into hiding. Yeah, I think we're very upset about that. The president has made that very clear.
What can the U.S. do for India? India has been deeply affected by the energy supply, the shutting of the Strait of Hormuz. Can the U.S. provide more energy itself, or what else can the U.S. do with that
Well,
relationship?
we want to sell them as much energy as they'll buy. And obviously, you've seen, I think we're at historic levels of U.S. production and U.S. export. We want to be able to do more. We were already in talks with them to do more. We want that to be a bigger part of their
Oh,
of their
and there it
portfolio.
is. After 25 days and the final runoff, J.D. Vance wins his 20th victory to become president of the United States with 58% of the vote. Gavin Newsom holds strong with 5 wins and 42% of the vote. Who will win tomorrow? Who will win tomorrow? It was interesting. It was interesting that today was the first time that AOC was not in the top 4 and that the 4th person on our poll was none other than Kamala Harris. I think that actually benefited J.D. Vance in the long run because I think that, Newsom was on a gruesome Newsom was on a tangent, a 3-day bender. He only had 2 wins before that. He won 3 times in a row the last 3 days. And I feel like that was because AOC was that 4th person. Put Kamala there as that 4th person changes everything. But that is our show tonight, guys. With 16,000 in the pocket. Appreciate you all for stopping by. No news is news. I will see you guys tomorrow night for another episode. And what's tomorrow? Oh, tonight. Check out my reels, my YouTube shorts later tonight. YouTube shorts dropping later tonight. And it's going to be on the very final episode of the last of Late Night. Late Night with Stephen Colbert ends tonight, guys. Late Night with Stephen Colbert ends tonight. And I will be there. I will be there watching this fucking shit show with David Letterman live on Paramount Plus. Tune in tonight if you want to. But that's how we're going to carry over the night. The night is going to be the last ever episode of Late Night with Stephen Colbert. Is tonight. We finally got him, guys. They're finally letting it go. Jimmy Kimmel, I think he got signed for another season. I don't know. That's how things go, But until next time, I will see you later, guys. Appreciate you. Peace.